What is up, everybody? Welcome to Sixers Postgame Live. Sixers get the W, 131-126 in a game that included some very sloppy play, but Joel Embiid, MVP Embiid, carrying this team again to a W. We're going to break it down. Top takeaways, reaction. Joining me, Sean Bernard at Sean_Bernard1. What's up, man?
Yeah, ugly game. Not a lot to be thrilled about except for the Joel Embiid 50 piece there. But as bad as the Sixers played, at least the Wizards are worse. So at least we got that to go for.
Yeah, no one gave the Wizards players the memo that they're supposed to be tanking, and they keep hitting shot after shot while the Sixers kept missing shot after giving up wide open layup at the rim. We're gonna get into it. Joining me also, Mitch Kofsky at Mitch Kofsky. What's up, Mitch?
Kelly Oubre, man, welcome back, man. Welcome back. A good welcome back from him. And D'Anthony Melton showed up too. I like that a lot. Put some respect on that guy's name, please.
And my man Pat from Ambler. What's up, Pat?
What's going on, Dodds? How are you, sir? Listen, what we had here was a team that kind of woke up in the fourth quarter, show that they can still take over a game when they want to. Doesn't matter how late it is. But they took it over, and I love to see that my man Joel Embiid kind of let my man Kyle Kuzma know that your reigning MVP's back when he swatted them right there in the paint. So I was excited for that, and let's get talking all about this stuff.
Let's do it. Before we get started, let's get to some comments. Wherever you're watching, guys, please be sure to like, subscribe. Let's jump right into this thing. Sharon says, I want Maxey to shoot more often. He's not shooting that much tonight. Please shoot the ball when the ball is in your hands. There is definitely some concern at times when Maxey is not aggressive. We need Maxey aggressive 100% of the time. I agree, Sharon. Sixers still need more help, more good shooters on this team. Absolutely. The shooting was brutal tonight. Prince is in the house. What's going on, Prince? That was an unexpected 50-piece by Embiid. Absolutely, man. What a performance from Embiid, man. He was cooking. Had to slow that too. Tobias Harris was horrible. Absolutely horrible. We're going to get into Tobias a little bit later because we're going to have to keep calling it as it is until he's moved to the bench. Nobody on this show can convince me that he's better than Kelly Oubre Jr., and we're also going to be focusing on him as well. Let's do it. Let's jump right into Joel Embiid. 50 points, 19 of 28 from the floor, 12 boards, 7 assists. He did have 6 turnovers. But what I like to see from Joel Embiid was he was dominant in the fourth quarter. You look at this team for the majority of the season, it's been the Tyrese Maxey show in the fourth quarters. Joel Embiid had 10 points in the quarter. 11 points in the quarter. The one fadeaway jumper he hit to hit 50 points was absolutely insane. He had the one fake spin move, fadeaway jumper that was just sick. Sean, what did we learn from Joel Embiid tonight?
Yeah, that he eats against the Wizards is what he learned. In 2 games so far this year, he's averaging 49 points, 11.5 rebounds, 7.5 assists on 75.5% true shooting percentage. Really impressive stuff. I thought he imposed himself down low pretty well tonight, that I thought he made more of an effort to really get to the rim in a way that sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he gets too comfortable with his little short-range jumpers, mid-range jumpers. Didn't feel that way tonight, that I thought he was attacking aggressive, using his physicality, and that's when he's playing his best basketball. That little fake spin that he does is probably my favorite move of his. He does it so smoothly and so just abruptly, the way he swings back. He had it going, and they needed every one of them tonight. It's sad that it takes a 50-point effort to take down the Wizards on a random Wednesday night in December. But you know what? I'm happy we got to see him. I'm happy that he stepped up and delivered. And I also love the between the legs little bounce pass to Maxey that's now becoming a staple in their 2-man game. Loving that as well.
Yeah, that's new, right? That.
Yeah.
I feel like that just started. Guys, keep the comments coming. They're rolling in. Steven says, is this a permanent thing with D'Anthony finishing at the rim? He had 2 layups in this one. Was some dark magic seal broken before this one? I don't know what's happening, but Melton's finishing all of a sudden, and I'm here for it. Mr. Rudy Poo says, bench Tobias Harris.
Yes,
we're going to get into
Tobias
it.
Harris love is coming in.
We're going to get into it. Toby playing poorly because I haven't been watching the games. All right.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Mitch, here is the shot chart for Joel Embiid tonight. It's a thing of beauty, man. Look how much green is on that. 9 of 12 at the rim. Absolutely dominant from mid-range. Mitch, what we see from Joel Embiid?
Like I said in my live stream earlier when I was doing a watch party, no one on Washington can guard this man. I was just saying, give it to Embiid, give him down low. That's exactly what happened. And then when Gaffer went out, and I was like, oh, it's over. Who else can guard that man on this team? That's basically what happened. Numbers show it. So no one on that team can guard him.
Yeah, he was just incredible. Pat, thoughts?
My thoughts about Joel Embiid, again, this guy's just coming off being sick, having a bust up hit. If you guys want to go the further extent and saying this was low management for the past couple of games, okay. But the fact that this guy has missed a couple of games overall and shows you why he's an elite player. He shows you why he's the reigning MVP because like Sean alluded to earlier, that's been moved. The stuff he can do, the havoc he can create, even in triple coverages, he can still just bully his way to the rim. There's things he could do again just to find the open teammate on the perimeter. Even though they were lackluster from the perimeter tonight, but no, regardless, the things he could do is just tremendous. And again, getting the shots that he wanted off, again, shooting from the perimeter, as you just saw, he had a nice little shot from the perimeter from the top of the key. It was nice. I mean, this dude can deliver, and this is what you wanted. And again, people like to sulk and whine and complain about the guy. That's fine, all and Danny, but at the end of the day, man, he's your reigning MVP, and he's showing it why. And again, he tattooed this this Wizards team. It just it was really fun to see.
Yeah, Embiid this was a god tier carry by Embiid tonight. Like there was a point in the first quarter when Embiid was 7 of 10 from the field, and the rest of the team was 4 of 18. Like the Sixers could not hit a single shot, and it was Embiid down low, Embiid down low, Embiid down low. So,
and you know what? Like the thing about Embiid is he had 26 points in the first half, and it didn't even feel like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's how crispy he is.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
21 of his 28 shot attempts inside the paint tonight. That's pretty rare for him. And I like when he's attacking the rim like that. That's a really positive thing to me.
That's a really good comment because most of the time we see Embiid with some tired legs.
Yeah.
In the fourth quarter, 6 shots. Love to see that in the fourth quarter. Let's see more of that. Usually that he's kind of sadly deferring to Tyrese Maxey. Some more comments. Terrible defense in this game. It was awful.
Yeah.
I thought, especially interior defense, god awful. The Sixers got murdered in the paint tonight. We're going to get into the defense in a little bit. Steven says, went from Toby Bryant to Tobias to crumble bum cookie. My God. I'm here for all of this.
Yes.
Quentin says, what do you think of Embiid? Pooh, what do you think of Embiid's performance tonight? Nick Nurse really has the posting up Embiid and short shots slowing. This is who he's supposed to be for so long. Yeah, I mean, from the jump, the high-low game of Batum and Embiid, like that's why Batum's out there because of his passing, the ball handling, and things like that. Major question mark on this Sixers team. But that's what we need, Batum out there, getting Embiid better looks around the rim. And we saw it tonight for sure. My man Rudy always on RBDJ Mitch's stream, always hating on the Sixers. We love you, Rudy Boom. Absolutely. Tobias was a plus 10. Are you kidding me? There's no way. I gotta look it up. There's no way.
Where his NBA 2K?
That's hilarious. Tobias was a plus 10 in this one. No reason at all for Harris to play 35 minutes tonight. Rocco only played like 4 minutes.
He only played 4, yeah.
4 minutes. And while Marcus Bum Morris is out there, at least put in Jaden Springer out there. You're getting cooked defensively.
I don't understand why he doesn't like Robert Covington. Like it feels like Nurse is not a Rocco guy, and I hate it. That it feels like that's everything that Nick Nurse should love: the active hands, the switchability, the way he just wreaks havoc defensively. Robert Covington feels like a Nick Nurse guy, but he just does not seem to like him, and he frankly should. That the Sixers could use him out there, especially on a night like tonight.
I don't get it whatsoever. Yeah, the minutes are weird. Without Oubre's 12 points, do the Sixers win? Let's jump into Kelly Oubre in this one. First game back, man, and did they miss him like crazy? Kelly Oubre was sensational in the fourth quarter. 10 fourth quarter points. Really was great, especially to see, another, shot creator, off-ball scorer that can help Tyrese Maxey in those fourth quarters. 10 points. He finished this one with 12 points. So 10 of his 12 points was in the fourth quarter. 1 of 3 from three-point range. He had a steal. He had some putback dunks tonight. I think a lot of his damage was just around the rim, putbacks, things like that. I'll throw it to you, Pat. First, thoughts on Kelly Oubre's return?
Glad to see him in a lineup. This was a team that you were solely relying on getting productivity from, obviously Tobias, Maxey, and and DeAnthony Milton. But when he's in that lineup, again, he does things for you. Again, the way he rebounds the ball, again, with no fear. I mean, he gets offensive, defensive rebounds for you. He also makes a big, huge impact in where he can shoot his, mid-range game. It's whatever, again, he makes a big impact to his team, and you got to love his game. Again, shooting from the perimeter. There wasn't much, too many offensive points from the perimeter, but he was one of the guys who were shooting the lights out from there. I loved everything about his game. I love it. I'm so glad I'm seeing him back in the lineup. You asked the question this past summer if this guy was going to fit the bill of this team, and he does, and he's a perfect fit to this team. Again, when this team's in trouble, he's one of the guys who can bail them out, getting those offensive rebounds, all those stuff. He kind of he's kind of like that match that whether Embiid or Maxey needs to kind of facilitate with, because the other guy, number 12, you can forget about him. He's nowhere to be found.
Steven says it was really a mostly unacceptable defensive effort today with sporadic acceptance. Once Oubs is back in the flow, everything will change. Absolutely. Fully agree. Ty Lue wasn't a Rocco guy. What is it with Covington? I mean, Sean, like every time like Rocco has been in this one, he's given us really good defensive possessions, deflection, steals.
And he pops to me. Like he jumps off the screen of look at him getting in passing lanes, doing things. And it's like, I don't understand what's not to be seen here.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a creator. He's not going to do ball handling. But, and on a night where you're getting cooked by this team, this is not a good Wizards team. They're 3-16. They're one of the worst defensive teams in the league. I don't know.
But to be honest, against the Celtics, he kind of was a creator. That was a game where he got more thrown in his plate, and we were very complimentary of him post game. That I felt really good about him answering all like that. That to me felt like a potential turning point of maybe he earned a little more trust here, and clearly not the case with tonight. Maybe it is a matchup thing, but I would just really like for Nick Nurse to be a little bit more complimentary and just, I guess, showing it with his decision making that he trusts Rocco a little bit more than he does. He deserves a role on this team. He absolutely does.
Yeah. All right, here's a shot chart for Kelly Oubre Jr. doing most of his damage at the paint. There was a really nice play where Maxey found, I don't know if it was a pick and roll or what, but he found Kelly Oubre cutting to the basket for a dunk, like a two-handed dunk. Mitch, thoughts on Kelly Oubre?
It was so nice to see him after being out for so long, despite what it was for. I'm not getting into that. No one knows the exact truth on that. But I said this before and I'll say it again. He's like the heart and soul of this team. He's one of those guys where you put him in there and he's going to sign for you. He's going to average a good 15, 18 points for you this season. So I love it, especially that corner three and that putback dunk he had.
Huge. What about you, Sean?
Yeah, it turns out having a guy put in the dunker spot that can actually dunk is pretty helpful. That having him with some of these putbacks after a full year with PJ Tucker being the guy in that, it's a little different when Kelly Oubre is the guy that can get up and throw it back down. So I like that. And then that first play that you highlighted, that was off the play where it was a kick out to Maxey where he kind of pump faked and then drove through the two defenders that flew past him, caused a defender to pop up and a little pass to Kelly for his first dunk there. That to me just shows his instincts as an off-ball cutter. The second that he sees those guys rotate, he cut immediately to the rim and set himself up for a free dunk. That's the biggest thing about Kelly Oubre for me is his instincts off ball for where to be are the best on the Sixers team, that he does a really nice job playing. And that's a very important skill set on a team when you have two very ball dominant guys in Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. when you have guys that can create without having the ball in his hands, that's super useful. Kelly's been doing a very good job of that. I think that's only going to continue, and it felt really nice to just have him out as kind of a athletic and energetic spark tonight.
He's been doing that all season, and like his reputation was like a black hole in offense, a guy that's going to drive and not create for others, which is fine. But like I didn't know how good he would be off ball and in transition as he has for the Sixers, man. He's a core piece. He's a major piece to this team ceiling moving forward, man. It's huge. Prince says loved it. Those putback dunks were beautiful. Rudy Poo says Rocco is number one in deflections. Absolutely. Nick, what's going on? Nick says kills me inside, but B-Ball Paul was not player of the game. No, he was not.
In the mud.
Tough game for B-Ball Paul. Steven says probably have to figure out the Cove Batum Oobs Moog time split. Have only been together healthy for a limited time. Morris is terrible, man. Now, all those minutes should go to Robert Covington. I am biased though. I've always been.
Tobias Harris, just there's no reason for him to be playing 35 minutes on a night-by-night basis. There's just zero.
Yeah, Oubre learned his off-ball cutting from the Warriors system. Great glue guy. This is the part of the night where we're gonna get into Tobias Harris. Who?
All right,
Here we go.
He was a plus 10, Pat. That's pretty good, right? That's pretty good.
Yay! What that means? Yay!
6 points, 6 points, 6 boards, 2 steals, 3 of 9 from the field, man. Just absent. Just I don't know. Sean, what are we doing? What's the plan with Tobias?
Yeah, so let me take this in 2 parts. I'll start from the Tobias perspective and then the Sixers perspective. From the Tobias perspective, it's very clear that he's pressing. Whenever he's pressing, it only spirals, it only gets worse, and that we're in this cycle. And the worst part about the Tobias Harris experience is we get this every year where he has a stretch of play where he's playing winning basketball, where he's simplifying the game, making quick decisions, playing decisive, using his size and athleticism. And you're like, there it is. That's the guy that we're hoping for. But he just can't do it for the long term, that he eventually regresses and the bad habits come out. And now we start to see this spiral. And that's kind of the cycle that we're in from Tobias Harris' perspective. From the Sixers, there's no reason why this is like, I get the commitment. I get the loyalty. I understand the contract, but you just can't roll this guy out the amount they are. That the biggest thing to me is when you look at Kelly Oubre, Robert Covington, and Nicholas Batum, that each of them have individual characteristics that are incredibly complementary of Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. And that's the name of the game. That with Oubre, it is that shot creation and it is that athleticism. With Batum, it is that playmaking and it is that willingness as a shooter, the quick release, all of these things. And with Covington, it's defense. That all those things are much better from an individual characteristic than anything that Tobias has. And Tobias is like so well-rounded, but just straight up average across the board that there isn't that defining characteristic that should keep him on the floor. So I understand it's not the easiest thing to do, but there's got to be some conversations about what's the best way for this team to equate to winning. Because frankly, I just don't think it is with Tobias Harris playing as much as he is.
Yeah, you can't. He doesn't fit. Like, look at this shot chart, Sean. Like, completely clogs the paint. Doesn't space the floor. He's got 3 3-point attempts the last 2 games. It's just not okay, man.
Yeah, can't happen.
Yeah, it's an unacceptable shot chart when you have, an elite driver in Tyrese Maxey and you have to space the court with Joel Embiid. He just does not fit. And you nailed it. Mitch, what about Tobias Harris?
Where do I even begin? I mean, he just doesn't fit for me in this offense. Like right now for the last couple of games, where has he been? I mean, come on. Just start Kelly Oubre next to Batum, put Tobias there, and cut his minutes in half. That's all I want. Cut his minutes in half and give it to Oubre. That's it. That's all I got to say.
What about you, Pat?
No, I mean, listen, I agree with everything you guys were saying. It's damning to me that this guy is going to continue getting the minutes that he has because of his contract. And that's unfortunately, like, he's going to have to apply for it. But, the overall big picture, if you want to succeed and move forward from what you were and what people say you can't move on from, and that's like, you're going to have to make some moves heading down the stretch here. Because to be up these hanging with the Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks and all those other, you're gonna have to do something. If he's giving you this kind of bad stretch now against the Wizards, you're going to have to make a major adjustment. That's going to have to come from Nick Nurse saying, listen, let's put it in. And looking at film here, like if we can see it, that Rocco means something more. And the Kelly Oubre's means something more, and the D'Anthony Millens and Batoons, and he's in that. To me, and I hate to say, I mean, it might be a little knock on him, but I mean, he's just a step above the Korkmazes of the world. I mean, that's kind of because you got like the Patrick Beverleys who's bringing something to you, the Marcus Morris, and he might be in that level right now. I mean, that's where I would have him coming off the bench because. You're going to need to see some more productivity from him, and you're not again tonight. First half, only 2 buckets for 18 minutes. 18 minutes. He's only got you 2 buckets. I mean, look, Embiid gives you the door, gives you the floor, and you look aggressive and all those fun things, and you can only do. And it's like Sean said, come October, that beginning of October, he shows you those stretches. Okay, this is the Tobias Harris that we all signed up for. Yeah. And then November comes around, and he looks like the Philadelphia Flyers, and it's like, where's that guy at? He's the back of a milk carton. It's, it causes you gray hairs all around, and it's just like these are the same issues that's been constantly lingering the 76ers. It's stuff like this.
Tobias Harris played scared basketball on a Wednesday night against the Washington Wizards. Like, it's insane that we're still doing this. But yeah, I've run out of things to say about it.
Every year.
Yep.
Prince says, I feel bad for Toby. You can tell it's really affecting him mentally. It's looking worse as the games go on. It's brutal, man. Nick says, I'd trade Marcus Morris for a bag of Fritos.
Hey,
Steven says the last few games, Tony Crumble has been handling his own balls and not much else. Tobias couldn't drive past Gallo. He's washed. Toby Crumble. This is the start of a new nickname. Oh my gosh.
Man, the fans are even lighting them up.
We've been talking about this for a long time, Mr. Rudy Poo. So we'll see if Nick Nurse does it, man. But last but not least, before we get into player of the game, real quick, the last 15 games, the Sixers have been 19th best in the NBA when it comes to defensive efficiency. I thought the Sixers defense really struggled, especially when it comes to interior defense. I mean, look at those numbers. This is the Washington Wizards tonight. It was brutal, Sean. I mean, again, I don't know. Like, the effort wasn't there.
Yeah, it felt like an effort thing to me. I mean, this Wizards team obviously is not dangerous to the point where the Sixers should be struggling on defense. They're just straight up not. That a Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma-led team should not be striking shivers down the Sixers' spine. It did just feel like they were not engaged from start to finish in this one. It felt like a game that they sleptwalked through, that they didn't wake up for it. They played sloppy at the start. They knew they were good enough to find a way to win pretty much regardless of how bad they play, and that ultimately proved to be true. So it is frustrating. It's not something I'm holding a ton of long-term weight to. I think against a better team in a different situation that they will be more engaged and locked in start to finish, but that still doesn't make me feel good. That's how today went, that they just kind of like this very easily could have been a different game where they wake up, they show up locked up, and this game's over by halftime. That could have been the script for this one. Instead, we need Joel Embiid to drop 50, and we're eking one out against the Wizards. So disappointing for sure. Not something I'm overly concerned about long term.
Yeah, win's a win. But the Wizards were 19 of 20 at the rim in the first half. They were getting whatever they wanted, which is way too easy. They're way too easy buckets. Mitch, thoughts?
Basically, they just overlooked them. The Philadelphia 76ers overlooked the Washington Wizards, and it showed. They were just hitting everything. We were playing sluggish. That's basically it for me, and it's a disgrace. Now we were playing against Atlanta Hawks on Friday. Good God.
Yeah, here's an interesting stat. Same stretch of games. Last 15 games, the Sixers are giving up the 7th most points in the paint the last 15 games. So, Pat, any thoughts on the defense?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, the defense just didn't look like they were there. I mean, I was trying to, stick up for Embiid on that aspect. Like, okay, maybe he hasn't, he's got to get himself in the game rhythm. Maybe this is his first time seeing some live bullets, obviously, coming at him. But no, I mean, his defense, I mean, other than that one block on Kuzma, to me, in that first half was like, okay. And then there's other times I've seen guys driving to the lane, and he didn't even attempt to put his hands up in the air to try and make some kind of defensive stop. And I was like, yeah, this is an issue. There's an issue in that paint where you guys are not playing your game here. And again, this lonely Washington Wizards team, we're creating plays. They were looking like they were one of the playoff teams on the rise. And yet, this is a bottom feeder team of these. But they were making plays. You had somebody come off the bench shooting 3 for 3. And again, this is where Rocco could have fit the bill. He would have had that perimeter defense. He would have had his hands up in the air. He would have made it tough for those guys, turn balls over for them. And no, and it's been lackluster in that paint. Now things got a little better in that second half, and then of course the offensive part start to pick up for the Sixers. But yeah, going back to the defense, they need to work on it. If I gotta look at a gray area on this team, that's it. That's the major, bugaboo that they have going on, other than Tobias. But yeah, they gotta get that fixed right away. They have to try to work on, defense.
Yeah, Nick with a great comment here. There still isn't a guy on this roster that's a great perimeter defender. That's the biggest thing the team is lacking. I kind of led off the show like that's what I saw. Like this team truly lacks a point of attack defender. Except for Jaden Springer. Jaden Springer can give you that. And did he even get any playing time in this one? I don't know. Zero playing time. Jaden Springer is at least a guy that I think is a weapon for this team. I do firmly believe that, especially in the playoffs when you're going, when you're looking for 5 to 10 minutes to defend Halliburton and guys like that in the pick and roll and ISO situations.
But there's zero chance we get that in the playoffs if we're not seeing it now. You know what I mean? Like we have to see Nick Nurse at least showing a willingness to try him and see what he's working with and see how developed he is, because he has looked better to me this year than I've seen in past years. So we need to see a little bit of a trust now for us to even have that option in playoff time.
Well said. Yeah, I agree. All right, let's roll into our Sixers players of the game. Sixers player of the game. Lead us off, Sean. Who you going with?
I hate to take the layup here, fellas, but it's got to be Joel Embiid. I mean, 50 points. This team isn't even in the game without him tonight. It sucks that it took a backpack effort from him to get the job done, but he did what was needed. That's what an MVP does. That's what the best player in the NBA does, is that he does whatever the team needs to win. When he is playing at his peak, I truly believe there's no player in the NBA better than him. He definitely has his valleys as well, and that's where the conversation shifts a little bit. But tonight, when he's playing like that, not much you can say about it. Player of the game for me.
The Sixers need every one of those 50 points tonight.
Yep.
I don't like games like this from Embiid, though. Like I like my Embiid with a little bit less offense, more rebounding, more defense Embiid. There was a stretch in this game where I feel like he contested every single shot, and that was when the Sixers kind of took the lead. He seems to like just flip a switch. When he's like locked in defensively, he's the best player in the NBA. Like it is wild to see. Mitch, who's your guy?
I have to go with Kelly Oubre, man. His return to the game off the bench, leading the way with 12 points, had a nice putback dunk. It's just really nice to see him on the court, so I'm going to give him the nod.
All right. Pat?
You guys are way out of whack. You got to get Tobias Harris, 36 minutes and 6 buckets and 6 points. Robbing the team blind. He's a stiff. He shouldn't be on. He should be just in street clothes. But my man manages being the starting lineup. He's living ransomly. My man's got it going on. That's my guy. No, okay. Aside though, I gotta give it to a guy who's had a silent good night tonight, and that was Maxey. Maxey was really on pace again. Anytime him and Joel Embiid have this special chemistry on the floor that's really, really paying off each other well. Again, anytime Embiid sets up the screenshots, he's willing to make the three-pointer. He's been really, really solid. Again, 26 points tonight. I got to give it to Maxey.
His 5th game of the season with zero turnovers. Not bad. I like that. I'll go Melton. I thought Melton had some solid minutes. I think in that second quarter, he was a big component for the Sixers offense. Trying to look at my notes here. DeAnthony Melton had 11 points in the second quarter, where he hit like a 3-pointer. He had a nice finish and 1 bucket. When that first half was absolutely god awful. So give me Melton, and then you went Maxey, right?
Yes.
All right, let me write this down. All right. Any other shout outs before grades?
Pat Bev, I thought, was brought another spark again today. That I thought he had a couple flashes. I trust, like, he's gained my trust a little bit, way more. I was a little skeptical for the first couple games. He looks like he's found his stride with this in this team. That 3-pointer he hit tonight was nice. He had a nice steal that led to that Maxey half-court shot at the end, which did count. So it was good to see that. Give Pat Bev a little love that he is as advertised.
Yep.
For me, it's got for me, I have to give Nick Batum. Again, he might not have had all the scoring in Collins, but his rebounds, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. He's constantly underneath the net, and when he's open on the perimeter, he's going to make those points count. So I got to give Nick Batum, again, a nice addition to this team, fitting the bill. I got to give that guy some love.
I didn't even realize he had 5 assists. That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Quentin says someone should be standing outside of the practice facility holding a sign that says play Springer. Nick says try Springer, Melton, Oubre, Rocco, Bamba lineup. All can shoot the 3 and defend at a pretty high rate. And now's the time to do it. Now is the time. Austin says wonderful effort by Embiid. Great win by the Sixers. I don't know if I would call it a great win.
It was good. I wouldn't even call it average.
Shout out to Melton for a good game. Toby plus 10 Harris for player of the game. Prince, did they count Maxey's half-court shot? Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Steven says compare the Celtics game and result versus this game and result. It's like Eagles conundrum. We can never be happy. That's facts. That is definitely true. All right, let's roll on to team grades for the win.
Don't you give me sweetness and light for my restless mind. Please give me a way to escape this world gone astray. You could give me a little peace of mind in these troubled times.
All right, final grade. Sean, lead us off.
C- for me tonight. That overall disappointing effort. Overall wasn't engaged. This very well could have been a game that could have been over by halftime. Was not the case. Still give a couple points back for the Joel Embiid 50-point performance, and obviously that they did keep the main thing, and get the win in that one. So shout out for them to move to 13-7, but not going to be good enough moving forward.
Yeah, the first half was brutal for me. Just a lot of standing around at the perimeter. The ball movement wasn't great. I'm waiting for us to get back to that heart.
Yep.
The heart we saw at the start of the season. You know what I mean? Hasn't really been there. Mitch, how would you grade it?
I'll just have to give it a C. That's the factor for the Embiid. If it wasn't for Embiid putting up 50, I would have gave it like a D- or something. I'm just saying the game was not good at all. The defense was bad. There was actually a joke in my chat. Someone said, knock, knock, who's there? Where's the defense? I'm like, yeah, that's basically it for that. And yeah, I'm going to give it a regular C.
Pat?
Yeah, I think it's going to be C across the board for tonight, fellas. I have to, again, Embiid saves the game. Embiid puts up 50 points. Again, you got big productivity from him, Maxey. A couple of the guys that contributed. But, however, the defense has been lackluster. And the fact that Nick Nurse has yet to address this whole issue that's going on with Tobias Harris. at some point, yeah, he's got to work on that. And yeah, I would have to go with C plus. C.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the good is you got 21 points from Embiid and Oubre in the fourth quarter. We need to see more of that, especially in the playoffs, and not just the Maxey show in the fourth quarter. I mean, Tobias Harris, man, he's gone from third option to sixth option to seventh option.
Mascot option.
Mascot option.
Bench warmer.
Option.
I'll give him a towel. Water boy
is not good. So, C, it is all around. Let's throw it to you, Pat. Final thoughts on the W. Plugs. Time is yours.
Final thoughts. Again, let's get in the facility. Nick Nurse is the coach of this team. He needs to work on this defense. He needs to start patting that down. He needs to start having lockdown paint in the paint defense. And get Rocco more involved in this game. We kind of alluded throughout the course of the show. Rocco needs to see more minutes. He's earned it. Again, he wears his team. He wears his city on his sleeves. Get this kid in more involved. I like what I see from him. And, again, just let us know when that meeting goes between you and Tobias. And that's all I got to say. Of course, you guys can check me on Twitter, Pat from Ambler. Of course, the EOP beat reporter for the Philadelphia Union, Philadelphia Wings. And, of course, you guys can catch me tomorrow night right there catching Flyers post-game show, Clear the Ice, and, of course, Sunday mornings, PM in the AM.
All right. What about you, Mitch?
Final thoughts. Put Tobias to the bench. That's all I got to say. Just put his ass to the bench and cut his minutes in half. So with that being said, you can find me on Twitter at Mitch Topsy, Hardcore Sports Network, Edge of Philly Sports, Fly Like an Eagle. Tomorrow, 7:15 with Big Al. So it's going to be a big show tomorrow. Be there for that.
All right. Sean.
Yeah, win still wins. So let's wash our hands, move on to the next one. Hopefully a better effort against the Hawks. I think a couple days off that they felt this one came out sluggish, and hopefully that's the end of that. So we'll move on from that. You can follow me on Twitter at Sean_Bernard1. Also stay posted for tomorrow. We'll be dropping an episode of Picks and Roll with Sean Brace over on the Fox Sports The Gambler, as well as an episode of Pick Swap Podcast. Talked a little bit about the Sixers trade deadline targets, some names that I wanted to throw in the mix, and some overall Tobias Harris hate as well. So make sure to stay tuned in for that.
Yeah, it was kind of a bittersweet victory because it feels like the Sixers haven't played in forever. And I was excited for this one. But like to come out with that level of enthusiasm, that level of effort and hustle, and it was kind of defeating a little bit. But yeah, we'll be back on Friday as the Sixers season keeps rolling on. Thank you, everyone, for the comments. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe wherever you're watching. We'll see you on Friday. For Pat, for Mitch, for Sean, for myself. Stay awesome, everyone.